And welcome back to my channel. As always, I'm jumping right in. Today I'll be putting on a set of GelX and show you how I put them on. I'm using the natural extra short square today. Already went ahead and got all the size tip, and now I'm just roughing the inside of the tip and getting it ready. I'm taking my 100 grit file and I'm going to rough up my nail plate. I'm not going to use a buffer because I don't want my nails to be so smooth. When we have too much of a smooth surface, the gel with the tip tends to pop off a little bit easier. So that's what I don't want. So that's why I'm going ahead with my 100 grit file. You can definitely use your sanding bit to do this if you don't want to use a hand file, but I opt for just using the hand file today. Now that I am ready to prep, I'm going to take my dehydrator from Ugly Duckling and I'm just going to put it all over my nails. Not going to forget, always use primer because we want the set to last. So I am going in with the Ugly Duckling primer and I'm just going to put a lot, concentrating it on the tip and my cuticle area so that it does not pop off, because we all know that the tip of the nail and the cuticle area tends to lift the most. Now taking one of my favorite base coat, I'm going to lay down a thin layer and getting it ready for the gel. I wanted to show you guys how I set up my lamp whenever I do a GelX set on myself. What I do is I take off the plate of my lamp and set it up on my desk right on the edge, just like this. Now that my lamp is ready to go, I'm going to go ahead and start priming my nail tip. I'm doing this just so that it can stick and last longer and won't pop off. I find it that sometimes when you don't prime the plastic tip, it does seem to pop off with the gel still intact on top of your nail plate. So that is the reason why I'm doing this. I'm going to be putting on my nail tip. I usually don't put it super close to my cuticle, and I do this because I have a thing where if it's not flush against the natural nail, it's going to bother me when I file using my drill. So I like it to be flush when I use my drill, so it's nice and flat. You'll see later how I drill and make it all kind of come together. When I do this gives me more control of how the gel is placed on the nail. So if there's any kind of gel spilling over, I have more control of trying to remove it and making it nice and flush. When I put on the gel on the nail tip, I like to brush it on first and then kind of scraping a little bit at the end so that it'll have enough gel to fill out my nails. Again, you'll see that I am not putting it close to my cuticle because I don't want any gel that will spill out touching the cuticle area, making it harder for me to try and fix it. When I was putting on this tip, I noticed that I didn't have enough gel. So when this happens, I take the tip off and I go back and dab or scrape a little bit more gel into the nail tip. Notice that there was an air bubble in here, and this is what I do when I see an air bubble is I start scraping it towards the end just to get rid of the air bubble, and I'll keep doing it until I see that there is no more air bubble. Now that I have all 5 tips on, I'm gonna do one final cure, curing it for 30 seconds. At this point, I'm going to start shaping my nails. Because I didn't put the tips all the way up by the cuticle, they have a bit of length, so I'm just going to go ahead and take them down a bit. I'm trying hard to find a way to tell myself it's fine, but I know that, baby, I'm never on your mind, and it don't matter how hard we try, 'cause you're never on my mind. One day I woke up with you on my bed. I couldn't even remember. You don't want to forget about the side and underneath the nail, so I'm going to shape it up a little bit. Sometimes you get a little spillage, kind of like this, so you do want to go ahead and get rid of those and start shaping it up so that it's nice and parallel and straight. Looking at your mirror like you don't want to be early. You're never on my mind. I'm trying hard to find a way to tell myself it's fine, but I know that, baby, I'm never on your mind, and it don't matter how hard we try. Now that I'm done shaping, I'm taking my drill with my sanding bit and I'm gonna start smoothing down the tip, especially where the nail tip meets the natural nail. I want to smooth that down so that bump is nice and flush to the natural nail. Promise for a million years, but I don't want to spend another minute with you here. I think you probably have When I do something like this, I know that it is an extra step. You guys can definitely just put on that full coverage nail tip and you don't have to do any of these. All you have to do is use that sanding bit to smooth it all out and you are ready to go ahead and paint. But because I'm kind of anal about how the cuticle always looks, so this is why this is my step on how I put on these full coverage nail tips. Once all my nail is nice and buff, I'm going to be taking my thick base coat again and I'm going to start building up the gel so that I have a nice and even surface between my natural nail and my tip. Now that everything is cured, I'm going to take this cuticle bit and run it through to catch any gel that may have spilled over. Because we all want our cuticle area to be nice and free of gel so that there is no lifting. The cuticle work is done. I'm gonna wipe it all down, get rid of all the dust, and you are ready to basically paint nail art if you like, or you can just leave it the way it is. I like it natural, so I'm gonna go ahead and just put some cuticle oil, and this is the final look.